He's on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line, back on the Rich Eisen Show, the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, one of my neighbors across the way from NFL Network. Yeah, and if you ever need a cup of sugar, Brandon Staley, I'm there for you. If you ever need one, across the way.
Great to be with you this morning, guys.
Great to see you. Yeah. Do you want to tell us the truth? That was the video we just played from Tom Brady telling truths. That it might have been a fumble in the tuck rule game. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite players of all time, Charles Woodson. Growing up, I think he's one of the best secondary players to ever play this game. That was one of those tough moments. I think that definitely changed the course of history. But I think it's always good to look back on it and unpack the truth from those who lived it.
Unpacking the truth. I love that. Speaking of old school here, if I am not mistaken, you were on the Chicago Bears staff when Khalil Mack arrived from the Raiders, and he had one of the best seasons of his career. And now look at this. Look at this reunion. Am I correct in that?
Imagine that. It was definitely one of those experiences that you're not going to forget, Rich, because if you remember, we traded for him 1 week before the season.
That's right.
So that whole movie came together quickly. And, I think that from the time he got traded to the end of the season, it was a blur. We had to get to know each other quickly. We spent so much time together, and I learned so much that season from him, and I think that's when you link up with special players like him, that's kind of what ends up happening. And I was able to see what he did for our defense, what he did for our football team, and then when you have a season like that, you develop a relationship that is going to last a long time. And I remember when I left to go to Denver with Vic, it was one of those bittersweet moments because it's great, but you're leaving someone that means a lot to you. And that defense that we had in Chicago was the best in the NFL and one of the best I've ever been a part of. So for us to be back together, for it to kind of come full circle, and for us to be able to link up now, I'm definitely very excited.
What did you learn? You said you learned stuff.
I think that from a mindset standpoint, I know that he shared for me. If you remember, Khalil was drafted high,
yes.
But then his rookie year didn't have the superstar production that certainly ensued, and just what changed for him, and being around a great mentor like Justin Tuck, being with a Charles Woodson at the end of his career, and all those lessons he learned from veteran players. And one of the things was, hey, I don't have time to waste as a pass rusher in this league. The ball gets out when you're playing against Tom Brady and you're playing against the premium quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes. You don't have time to waste. So that really affected his takeoff and his approach, and it really kind of changed his style as a rusher to a speed to power rusher going through you. And and then just a lot of little things, tips that he's picking up from O-linemen, and cadence tips, looking at the shot clock, as it walks down, just to get a little bit of an edge. And and then just the way he prepares and the way he trains. I mean, this guy's just why he's one of the special players in the game, because it's his approach. And that's a year that has been really special for me, and now to bring him to this team and where we're going, I'm so excited for Justin Herbert, Derwin James, Keenan Allen, all these guys that we have, to be able to link up with him every day.
Yeah, I mean, when Tom Telesco calls you and says we can get Khalil Mack, what's your reaction?
Right? Confidence. Because you just know what he's bringing to the table. This is a performance league, and Khalil's been one of the elite performers since he stepped into the league, and I was with him every single day, and I saw what he did for our defense in Chicago. We were a top 10 defense when he got there. Then we became the number 1 defense, and it wasn't even close. And he really engineered that playoff run for us, and I think that's really what we're looking for here, is somebody with that type of performance, that type of play style, that type of the intangibles, the leadership, the competitiveness, and I think it says a lot about our organization, the Spanoses and Tom, and just being able to put this all together. It's been a special offseason so far.
Well, I know that obviously if you give Khalil Mack an extra second to get home, he will definitely do that. And J.C. Jackson is a professional to maybe help that. Is that the concept of when you're putting stuff together, pieces together in the crazy month of March?
Yeah, Rich, I think the big goal for us was to become a complete team this offseason, certainly on defense. We had a lot of improvements that we needed to make, and I think that we did that. You started with the trade for Khalil, and then you were able to get J.C. Jackson, kind of pair him with, Asante, who got off to a really good rookie season, and, Derwin, Nas Adderley, kind of complete your secondary there. And then, we were able to add Sebastian, as you know, who I was with the Rams, Sebastian Joseph Day and Austin Johnson up front. We were able to get Troy Reeder, a linebacker that was with me for the Rams, and we just signed Bryce Callahan yesterday, a nickel that was with me in Chicago, that was with me and Khalil in Chicago, was with me in Denver, and it's about becoming a team on defense. That's what it takes in this league, and you're absolutely right. If you play tight coverage, which is what we believe in, it buys that count for Joey, Khalil, and our rushers, and that's what you got to do to be good in this league.
And the concept of giving your quarterback an extra second, we all can understand what that might mean. So what did you see in Zion Johnson to go and select this interior offensive lineman 17th overall in the middle of a wide receiver palooza during the first round of that draft?
That's exactly what it was. Record number of receivers in the first two rounds, and now everyone's wondering why I want a bunch of secondary players. But I think, last year, Rich, just seeing what the impact Rashawn had on our football team, Rashawn Slater, an all-pro player as a rookie, we felt like Zion Johnson would really complete our offensive line and be able to really solidify the interior. And the quarterback position, the pressure that affects you the most is the pressure up the middle. And when you have to anchor in against the Aaron Donalds of the world, the Chris Joneses of the world, the DeForest Buckners, that's tall duty. You can help on an edge rusher a lot easier than you can help on an interior rusher. So we just felt like that Zion was a complete guard, complete in the run game and in the pass game. He's really tough, Rich, like a rugged, tough guy, and really smart, like super, super sharp, and that's how Rashawn was. So just felt like it would really balance our offense out, and, Justin doesn't need a lot of time, but to give him more time, give our skill players more time, balance out our run game, we felt like that would be a winning edge.
And then you bolstered the back end of that defense that we keep talking about here. Brandon Staley, Chargers head coach here on the Rich Eisen Show. This kid from Baylor, J.T. Woods, he can bring exactly that. What do you like about him, Coach?
Rich, I think the first thing is he can really see back there. And I think the way we play at safety, I've been fortunate since I've been in the NFL to be around a lot of good safeties, Adrian Amos and Eddie Jackson, and Chicago, Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson. With the Rams, we had John Johnson, Jordan Fuller, as you know, and then here we got DJ Nas. Safeties kind of make our defense, and I think in a big way in the secondary. And I think when we put Derwin James down at dime money, when he goes lower to cover a tight end or a slot receiver, we still want that playmaking ability in the back end. And we just feel like JT can really see. He's got outstanding range. I mean, the athlete that you're getting. He's 6'2", 195. 4'3", 39-inch vert. I mean, he's an outstanding athlete, but beyond his athleticism is he can really think. He played for an outstanding coach at Baylor, Dave Aranda, Ron Roberts, his D coordinator. I really respect those guys. They run a pro-style defense at Baylor. You saw it with all the Baylor defensive guys that got picked. I mean, there's a reason for that. And, and I just feel like this guy's best football is ahead of him. And you get some speed in our secondary and some range, some playmaking ability. We know that we're going to have the pass rush, so we just felt like he would be an outstanding guy to link up with and grow with in our secondary.
Chargers head coach Brandon Staley here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's your expectation of a second to third year leap for Justin Herbert?
Well, Rich, I think that you guys saw last year from the very first game to the last game, he made a ton of improvement as a player. And I think that's kind of what I try to tell people to ask that kind of question. I think he's such a hard worker, and I think that he puts so much into the game as he makes the improvements because how much he puts into it. And then obviously there's a lot of talent to work with. But I think that, Rich, as you know, this is the first time in 6 years that he's had the same offense. Going in, this just doesn't happen for this guy, and that's what makes him so unique. But I think that comfort zone of being in the same offense, being in rhythm where we can go over the plays that he's actually run and build that chemistry with our receiving core, tight ends, backs. Like, hey, this is the way I want you to run that route. Or, hey, when we get this coverage, this is what it's going to look like. Hey, when we throw a 9 route to Mike Williams versus, Josh Palmer, this is what it's going to look like. So, I just think that there's a lot to build on. His experiences, I think so much as a young player at quarterback is just the inventory of experiences. It's kind of like being a head coach. Rookie head coach, you learn so much every single day. And I think Justin building that inventory of the defensive structures, the defensive coordinators that he's going, he's only going to get better.
Well, I mean, that's part of your interesting makeup, Coach, is, obviously in the pros, you were on the defensive side of the ball as an assistant. Now, obviously you're the HC, but your background is as a quarterback when you played. What does that mean? I mean, I can't believe that this is the first time Justin's going into a season already knowing the playbook because he's played it the previous season. That's the first time he's had that in 6 years. I mean, what does that mean for a quarterback, Coach?
Well, I think if you look at, the special quarterbacks of my lifetime, your lifetime, is they had continuity of their system. If you just rewind it, like they had a system that they, really they became the system. And that's what when I interviewed for the position, I'm like, that's my vision for Justin Herbert, is to create a system for him and then to grow him within that system where he becomes the system and, obviously he becomes like a coach on the field for you. And to me, that's the formula, at that position. And I think what it does for him is it allows him to get into rhythm. Rich, I get comfort in my fundamentals. I get comfort in my progressions. I get comfort knowing this player that I'm throwing to because this is my system. And there's a confidence that comes with that, and there's a freedom that comes with that. And that's what you want from all your players, is for them to play free. And when Justin plays free and he's having fun out there, there are a few better.
Well, I mean, and what a time for you to have him have that continuity for the first time, too, Coach Staley, because I'm sure you've noticed, we all are talking about it. This is the deepest end of the NFL pool, the AFC West, what with the number of people who have come in from elsewhere, from Russell Wilson and the guys that you obviously brought in too. Devontae Adams are just two of the biggest stars that are now dropped in to this division. And then on top of it all, not to keep on piling on here, but it's the truth. I mean, this is Justin Herbert's third year. You got him on a rookie deal. Like, this is the window, man, right? This is the window. Do you feel that sense, Coach Staley, right now?
I sense the competition that's certainly in our division. I sense that, which is a really amazing thing for the NFL. I mean, that's where you want to be. You definitely don't want to run away from competition, and I think that last year it was pretty fierce. If you looked at our division, I think all four of us, with 3 or 4 games left in the season, we were in it, to the very end. And so there was that competition last year, and then you onboard all these guys that I think what's been unique, Rich, is that everybody knows these players. These aren't just like, role players. These are franchise players. These are marquee players. So I think that's really positive for the league. And I think we were right in the middle of that this offseason, and that's why we've been able to make the moves that we've made and free agency trade and then the draft. And now you got to go become a team, and I think that's the secret, is now you got to go become a team, and it starts over every year, and so we're kind of at the beginning of that right now. And I think in terms of Justin's window, as long as Justin Herbert's playing, Rich, that window is going to be open.
No, I know that. I'm just talking about for you able to build around it, because it does feel like you guys are set. I mean, like the number of guys that you've added and that you've mentioned. I mean, we're talking every level. We didn't even hit your wide receiver crew, which, you paid Mike Williams, and you still got Keenan Allen, and obviously you added Isaiah Spiller in the draft at the running back spot, which by the way, I think Eckler gave everyone a heart attack when he came out and talked about the Amazon game with Tony Gonzalez. I got half my phone blown up saying, did Eckler retire to go join Amazon?
Austin's got a blossoming media career.
I know.
As you know, his empire is growing by the day.
Right, I know.
He's definitely not confused about that. So I couldn't get over how big Tony Gonzalez looks, man. That guy looks like he could still play.
Yeah, you could probably give you some snaps, but I guess that's
no doubt.
That's my whole point, is just to bring it all in, is that it seems like you're set, but you kind of need to be set because you got that window where we all see what third-year, fourth-year quarterbacks who are like Justin Herbert's style and stature, they want to get paid. They want to get paid a lot. So
for sure. I think that's what's changed probably, Rich, for us that have been, like around our age, is like the quarterback market explosion. And I think that it's a great point, because what you want to do is you want to kind of set your roster with the anticipation of what that contract could look like the best you can. And I think that that's what you're seeing. And I think that there's going to be a lot of creativity in how that expresses itself, because I think, as these deals become, as these quarterbacks land these deals, I think more teams are going to understand how to maneuver. But I know that Justin wants to win. I think that's the great thing about joining up with him, is he wants to win. He wants to be a champion, and he wants to do this for the long haul. So, I think that what we're trying to do for him, the Spanos family, Tom, myself, coaching staff, everybody here, is to build a complete team around the guy, so that he can be the best version of himself. And I think what we've tried to do this offseason is tell Justin and our entire locker room that we're trying to be world champions.
Coach, thanks for the time. Let's do this more often. Love to have you here in studio. We're just up the road, so whenever you're free, this spot is here for you. Thanks for the time.
Thanks a lot, Rich. Have a great day.
You're right back at you. That's Brandon Staley, head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.